So, to answer the prompt, I think that the interviewer probably needs more information that's related to the specific position the interviewee or candidate is applying for. So, that would greatly depend on what the position is. So, in this case, if we are talking about a teacher candidate, then a lot of those questions would be related to instruction and classroom management and things of that sort, and as well as experience in previous positions or leadership roles. So I think those questions would be way more specific than the ones on the bad interview questions page that we were given. And do you think, sorry, I'm reading the question. So, as far as an ethical issue at play with tricky questions, I do think that there is a fine line between what is ethical and what is unethical to ask. So as we are learning, it's not about the question being illegal, but it's how the information is used after the interview that makes that decision illegal. So people can seek, legal action if they think they're being discriminated against. So I think that an interviewer does need to be very mindful and careful of the questions that they ask, and make sure that those questions being asked are ethical, and also that they relate just to the job itself. I think as far as what questions that are not listed do you think still need to be asked? Again, I would refer back to questions that are related to the position that the candidate is applying for. And I think another question on there, or just a general question that would work for any job position, would be, asking the candidate to tell you a little bit about themselves. So I think when a person tells you, shares a little about their interests and their hobbies, I think that could also give you a good idea of where their priorities lie, or, if they have children, if they're married, etc., where they grew up, things like that. So instead of asking, like, what did your parents do for a living, for example, is one of the bad questions. Sometimes a candidate might share plenty of information that gives you a good idea of their upbringing and just who they are as a person, and trying to see if it's a good fit for that company or the campus or whatever it is that they are applying for. So I think asking someone to tell or to share a little about themselves opens up a lot of good information to make a decision. And I think as far as other questions, I can't think of another one that is not listed on there, but all of the other options for what is, not what's a bad interview versus a bad interview question versus what makes it a better question to ask. I think those are really good ideas and examples of what to do instead of asking those tricky questions that could, put the interviewer in a bad position as far as consequences, legal consequences.